I was reading about the anatomy of the brain, you know, and I saw that there it's a two hemispheres. You know this? It's in the brain here. It's not one. It's not one unit. It's two hemispheres. Yes, it's one brain. And then I start to ask God, why? Why you're creating us like that? Why it's two? All the organs is just like a one piece. Why our brain is two? Two, I would not say separate, but two hemispheres that has different functions, that it gives a different input to the human being. One hemisphere is telling us about the logical, the measurable, the tangible things in our lives, reasonable things. I could say, like, I can walk from here to there, and this is with my own logical part of my brain. But the other part is concerning with something completely different. It's concerning with something that it's the beyond. It's the imaginative part. It's the intuitive part. It's something that I would imagine, and I would just think of it, and then it helps the other one to understand the reality better. So imagine if we don't have the imaginative part in our brain, how would we function? It would not be the possibility. It would not be very good. And that's why when God created us in a fantastic way, and He puts this brain to think different ways, so the two ways will be able to complement each other. Most of the time, people are not able to connect to God with the reasonable, with the measurable way, but because we need to understand about the beyond, because God, for us, it's a reality and a beyond at the same time. He is present in us, with us, but at the same time, He is a spirit. He is just, I need to use my imagination. I need to use the beyond capacity in me to understand about Him. And that makes a very important way of dealing with the situation of your own creation. If you are not able to understand your own personal creation, if you don't understand how you are created, then you are not able to connect to God. But at the same time, we're not only created on the physical realm, this way, but also God created us also in two parts. He created us like we are having the tangibility, the physical body, but at the same time, He gave us a breath. It's His Spirit. And that means that the new creation in our life has to be a connection between the two. I am created this way. I need to respect it the way it is, and I need to use it how God created me with this. To give you an example. How this function, and those people who wanted to change, they need to use part of it. I learned when I was young this sign, infinity. You know, this infinity. This is a sign, infinity. Right? Everyone learned it. But for me, it became something different. Do you know this? Maybe I should tell you a story first, and then I continue with this talk, because stories makes it closer. Did you watch the movie Titanic? Did you? It's nice, isn't it? It was a nice movie. I like it. You laugh? Yes, I did. I liked it. I liked the movie. But I liked one part of it. And this one part of it, it was very nice to me, personally. And I tell you my experience with this movie. Maybe it would tell you a little bit about the renewal methods that I'm trying to come to you with. I was watching the movie, and at the end of the story, the boat is broken. Everybody is just like in panic. Everybody is falling. Lots of death and lots of death like that. And then it ended up with a very beautiful picture. I want you to imagine with me this. It's a very beautiful picture of the man of the movie. I don't remember the names now. I forgot them. So the man of this movie, he was just holding on a piece of food, and he was shivering because it was cold. Can you imagine it's cold now? It's cold, and he is holding in it, and he is in the sea, and he is just looking deep into the eyes of his lover, and he was telling her that forever. He would love her, of course. It's very nice. Anyway, take 20 seconds, enjoy the image. Okay? 20 seconds, enjoy the image in your heart. And then I ask myself, is that all that is giving to me from what I see? Is that all what is giving to me and this reality that I'm having now? Is it all? Then I said to myself, no, I need to do something else. I need to renew my mindset. So what happened? Then this is a real story. And I was sitting and watching the movie, and I took my reality, the movie and what is seen, and I went with it. I took it all the way to my other part of the brain, to my imaginative part, my intuitive part, the part that I am able to connect with the beyond. And what happened? I start to search in the Bible about a story that is similar. And because I want to learn something from that. So I took the story of St. Paul. He was traveling in the Mediterranean Sea with his tours, preaching. And then the boat was broken. And then I took this, now I take this reality and I move it to the reality of St. Paul. But St. Paul I don't see. I am not in connection with. He's so far away. He's not here. But as a human being, I am able to bring to me now the beyond. I'm able, in my nature, as you are all able to do that, you are able to bring to yourself something that's in the beyond, that's not there. It's not in reality now, but you are able to bring it in. So I brought it in. I brought St. Paul, and he is there in the boat, and the boat is broken, and he is hanging himself with a piece of food, and like the same image, and it's cold, But he is not looking into deep into the eyes of his lover, but he is lifting his eyes to God, his Christ. Can you imagine that? Very soon, the boat was taken to the seashore of Malta. It ended like in the movie of Titanic. It's a different end. It's a different story. Everybody ended up in Malta. Then I felt now I need to walk with Paul and see what is happening in Malta. And imagine, this person has been in death, severe danger. And now he is taking to Malta with all the group that was in the boat. The people of Malta, the Maltese, was very kind to them. They gave them food. They were sheltering them. It was cold, and they were wet, so they started to put some fire. And then here, Paul is taking something else. He's taking what is called his belief system. What do you mean, belief system? Yes, I am a servant. I can't stay laying down and everybody would serve me. You are entitled to do so. You were just in a danger. You were just facing death. Come on, rest. No, this is not my style. I need to go and collect wood. And then he started to go and collect the wood. And here, as he is bringing the wood and put it in the fire, a viper, a serpent, came out of the wood as it was fire. So she just came up. I don't know why I said she. She's not a she. And then she got also she. Maybe something wrong in my brain here. It got stuck there in his hand. And then, and this is a very important thing, imagine the behavior of St. Paul when a serpent is hanging on his hand. What he did was the natural behavior of someone. He would scream, he would run away, maybe he will faint, maybe he will. But Paul took the serpent and threw it back to the fire. Now, everybody was waiting that St. Paul will fall or swollen and something will happen to him. And everybody started to see him as a murderer. They said like this man must have been a murderer. So even though he was saved from the sea, justice didn't allow him to live. You hear that? People were talking in the ears of St. Paul like that. But something was there in the mind of St. Paul, in the being of St. Paul, in the new nature of St. Paul, to make him much more stronger than what the others are seeing him. And there, everybody was waiting that he will fall dead. And it didn't happen, so they start to change. And there, they became very much into worshiping them. And he told them no, and he started to preach the Word of God. And he gave them the message of salvation. I was so happy with meeting with St. Paul. So I took this power. Look here. Me, who took this power with the experience of St. Paul, and I brought it back from my intuitive part, from my imagination, from the other side of my brain, and I took it back to me, to my reality. But this time, the reality was carried by a new concept of power, a new concept of belief system, and that lifted up my reality, then it became a renewal of my thoughts. Did you get that? So it was just, I took my reality, the things that I am seeing now, and I went with it to an experience. Maybe it's this experience, I need to go with someone who had the same experience. I used the nature that God gave me, it's the other part of me, dive into the beyond, took a power from there, and I went back to my reality, where I am carried by a new way of thinking. That's why St. Paul was telling us, renewal comes from what? From what? Be transformed. But how? Renewal of mind. So the first thing here that we start with, even before faith, it is renewal of your mind. When you understand why God is doing that to you, when you understand the nature of yourself, when you understand the things that God have made for you personally, then you carry from the mindset, it gives you a feeling. You see here, when you think, you feel. Isn't it? When you think, you feel. You don't feel and then you think. You think first. Even whatever feelings you get, it's perceptions. And that means, like, you need to think different. And when you think, you start to feel. And when you feel, you start here to put these feelings in your belief system. And this belief system will make a change in your mind. And that means you need to build a belief system. How do we behave? It's a new creation. So if you understand what God has made for you as a person, then you would understand the result in your heart. I remember I gave you a long time ago this analogy about the transformation that Jesus did for us. And I told you, you get a piece of dough. You know the dough? You get a piece of dough. It's the same ingredient like the bread, isn't it? The same ingredient. It's the same flour, it's the same water, it's the same salt, it's the same yeast. But as the yeast is growing in us, there is a time that we need to stop it. And what will happen, that you take the bread, the dough, you put it in the oven. You know what the first thing that happens in the dough? What happens? Killed the power of the yeast. This is the first thing happens there. Kill the power of the yeast. But this is not the only thing that happens there, because if it were the only thing that happens there, kill the power of the yeast, then we would not be able to eat the dough. Can you? Can you eat the dough? No. But there is a kind of transformation. Nothing was added. Nothing was added, but it is a transformation of the nature of the dough to become what? Bread. It's the same thing, like Jesus took our nature, took the dough that we had, with the yeast, with our sins, and he went to the cross, and the first thing he did, he killed the power of the sin. Kill the power of the sin. And then he made a transformation. He carried us in him, went through the death, and he is risen again, and we are in him to give us a new creation in him. So the transformation happened inside us because of Jesus. And that means that if I want to have the real transformation, I need to use the power of thinking that God has created me with. Every person, every human being, God has created us with the power of thinking. With the power of thinking of the tangibility and the untangibility. With the power of the now and the beyond. With the reality and the beyond. With the body and the spirit. Every human being. And that's why every human being has been given the tools to understand the transformations that happens to them. Everyone. Not even one person is not giving these tools. And that means that we need to understand this. I just gave you this bread and the dough just to bring you a little bit of the feelings of what is the difference. And that's why Jesus said about himself that I am the bread of life. Not only because it's a symbol of life, but it's also because it is the reality of what happened, that he killed the power of the sin, and he gave us transformation, a new life with a different shape, with a different new nature. And the new nature has to be laid in a certain shape, that it is influential, not only in your own personal life, but also in the life of every other person around you. So the first thing God wanted us to understand, put first a vision. It's the vision. Why you are created. And why? Why you're here. Why you're here. Do you know? Do you know why you are here? Do you know why you are here in this place now? Why you came here this moment? I know why I came here. I know why I came here. But do you know why you came here? Ask yourself this question. Then everything in your life, every step in your life, it gives you a feeling. It is incompatible with my vision or not. If I do this, is it meeting with my vision in life or not? So I tell you a story. It's personal as well. Maybe I said it to you before, but I don't know. I don't remember. Is it here or somewhere else? My mind is just getting loose now. To give you a feeling, what is a vision? It's not a goal. The vision is not your goal in life. It's different. The vision of your life is what you can do in 1 hour. It's the same vision you can do within a day, the same vision you can do within a year, the same vision you can do within 100 years. It's the same. Because it's your vision in life. And that's why lots of people fail to reach to the new creation because they don't have the vision in life. And the story goes like this. It's very painful to me, but to tell this story all the time, but I would say it for your own benefit. A few years ago, I had a very bad accident. And I'm still on the process of healing. Physically and emotionally, in the inner being still. I'm working on myself a lot to be healed. I'm still not there yet. But it was very painful for me. I was in coma, and people thought that this is the end. Even one of the newspapers in Egypt wrote that I am dead. They didn't understand. And when I just start to wake up from my coma, I knew what happened. And few of my friends in the car died, and it was so painful for me. This is the moment that I felt I don't want to live. As if I blocked the blood from the source of life. I just don't want to live. It's finished. I don't want to live a second. My life is ended, and all I need now is just stop. Stop this breathing that is coming in and out. And here, the good God, that He is reaching out for us to teach us. I start to have a conversation with Jesus in me. It's not a voice. It's not a vision. It's inside. And God talks to us in our hearts. At this starts the conversation is like this. What would you do? He's asking me. Jesus is asking me. What would you do if you live for 1 hour? And I said, Lord, I'm broken in and out. I'm broken in my body and I'm broken in my soul, and I cannot do anything. But the only thing I can do, I can preach. So every person would come here, I will tell them how much you love them. So if I give you another day to live, what would you do in 1 day? Lord, I can't do anything. But the 1 day is too much for me. I don't want to live. But I will tell them how much you love them. If I give you 1 week to live, what would you do in 1 week? I said, Lord, I don't want to live 1 week, but I will preach. I will tell every person who comes to me how much you love them. So if I give you 1 month, I said, that would be the torture of my life. If you really want to torture me, then give me 1 month. But I will preach. I will tell them how much you love them. If I give you 1 year, what would you do? I said, I will preach. I will tell them how much you love them. If I give you more than 1 year, I will preach. And here I am, after a few years, and I want to tell you how much He loves you. So much more than you imagine. This is a vision in life. You would do it in 1 day. You would do it in 100 years. This is the vision. And that means to be transformed, to enjoy the new creation in life, then you need to set a vision. So what's your vision in life? Do you have one? Do you work to have one? I think this is number 1 step to do it. And you use your brain. You use the power of thinking that God gave you to reach out to your vision. And your vision would lay a foundation for your identity, who you are. What are you going to do in your life? Are you this person who was a bishop? Or are you a priest? Or are you a doctor? Or are you a businessman? Or who are you? Oh, I live in this place. Do you know people, when they meet other people, you know what you do? You put frames. And the frames decide how you deal with these people. For example, you meet a person and then you dig a little bit and then you see, okay, this person lives in this area. This is a rich area. Okay, this is one frame. And then a little bit more, oh, this person is married. No, Okay, this is another frame. Oh, this person is having this. He has contact with this person. And a frame after a frame after a frame. And then you find yourself look at the person from a very narrow area. Who makes the frames? It's me. I make the frames how I see the others. And the frames is put because of my identity. How I see myself. How I put everything in me. And that means to be transformed, you need as well to work on the transformation of your identity. And the transformation of your identity, it needs a belief system, you know, a belief system. And the belief system, I will try to explain to you what is a belief system. So I will take the example of Christ and how he took certain process to change the belief system of his disciples so he would give them an identity the way they were. So, in the beginning, look, Jesus is coming to his disciples and tell, who do you think I am? What do you think people would say who I am? Then Peter is telling him, you are the Son of God. Yes. Blessed are you, Simon, because it's not a flesh who told you so. Then there is what is called the dogma belief system. The dogma belief system. This is what you have in your heart. Dogma belief system. You believe in Christ, you believe in incarnation, you believe in the Trinity, you believe in the second coming. You believe, there is a certain kind of belief that you have. It connects to God. It connects to your dogma. It connects to your what you behave with God. How do you see God? So Jesus wanted, first of all, to make sure that his disciples will change their belief system about him. They need to know that he is the Messiah. The second part he started to change. He started to put for them a moral belief system. Moral belief system. And what is this moral belief system? He would tell them like, your yes is a yes, and your no is a no. Let your words be like that. This is how you behave. Love one another as I have loved you. By this, the people will know that you are my disciples. You see? It's a certain way of behaving. So when you are able to use your mindset to change your moral system from what you have been doing to change and transform the moral system in your life to match with the moral system of Jesus, then you have a change. You would not be able to change if you don't transform the moral system that you have been growing with. And I'm sorry to say that some of us having this moral system that it's very deep in them, you can lie a little bit so you can finish a problem, isn't it? It's not a problem. It's a one word. I can lie to my parents, I can lie to my friends, I could finish up a topic. Why I have to go into a problem with others to say the truth? Then, if you don't carry the same moral beliefs like Jesus, then there's something wrong. Then you would not be able to connect. There's something wrong there. There is a separation. But then the third part of the belief system would be the self-image belief system. So Jesus wanted to make sure that they would have a dogma belief system, a moral belief system, and a self-image belief system. And the self-image belief system, Jesus starts to put in them very clear. Like what? I'll tell you. He would come and tell his disciples like that. I give you the authority. Huh? I give you the authority. Listen to this. I give you the authority to tread on serpents and scorpions and all the power of the enemy, and nothing will hurt you. How do you feel? How do you feel when you hear this from Jesus, that he is telling you, I give you the authority to do so and so and so? If you believe it, then you behave the same way. Imagine if you are a clerk and you are sitting in your desk and you were giving the power to say yes or no. Yes or no. Some people will be admitted, some people will be rejected. There is someone who will sit behind the desk and have the authority to sign yes or to sign no. Why he is giving this? And what does he feel? He feels powerful. He feels an authority. He feels in control. But imagine now that Jesus himself is telling you, I give you authority. What do you feel? Does it change your self-image? It does. But then he's not like that. He'd come and tell his disciples, now look. If you have faith, even like a mustard grain, I will tell you, you can tell the mountain to move and it will be moved. Nothing is impossible for you. What? Nothing? Yes. Nothing is impossible for you. What kind of power is that? Yes. I give you power. I give you strength. If you pray, if you believe in what you pray for, it will be given to you.